The emergency alert pierced through the darkness of deep space, echoing across the bridge of the Nexus Voyager. Captain Mira Dallin's bioluminescent markings pulsed with concern as she studied the distress signal's origin. Her species, the Lumini, had been searching for solutions to their dying sun for decades. Now, on the outer rim of charted space, they had found something. "Analysis complete, Captain," announced First Officer Kaz, his crystalline form refracting the soft blue light of the bridge displays. "The signal originates from what appears to be an artificial structure, but its composition doesn't match any known civilization's architecture." Mira's tendrils curled thoughtfully. The Lumini's desperation had driven them further into the void than any of their kind had ventured before. Their sun had perhaps a century left before it went nova, and their attempts at stellar engineering had failed. They needed a miracle. "Life signs?" she asked, already knowing the answer. This far out, the chances of finding an active civilization were virtually none. "Negative," Kaz responded. "But there's something else. The structure appears to be maintaining an internal atmosphere, and our sensors detect active power signatures." After all this time, the bridge crew exchanged glances. The youngest spacefaring races were the Lumini themselves, barely 1,000 years into their cosmic journey. The oldest known species, the archivists, had achieved interstellar travel just 4,000 years ago. This structure's age readings were off the charts. "Prepare an expedition team," Mira commanded. "I want us ready to board in 30 minutes. The boarding party consisted of Mira, Kaz, their chief scientist Dr. Venn, and 2 security officers. As their shuttle approached the mysterious structure, its true scale became apparent. It was massive, easily the size of a small city, with sweeping architectural lines that somehow managed to look both organic and precisely engineered. "These readings are extraordinary," Dr. Venn muttered, her photosynthetic skin flickering with excitement. "The material appears to be self-repairing at the molecular level. Nothing in our database comes close to this level of technology." The shuttle's lights illuminated what appeared to be a docking bay, still functioning after untold millennia. As they set down, the bay automatically pressurized, its ancient systems working flawlessly. "Atmosphere is breathable," Kaz reported, surprise evident in his crystalline voice. "Gravity at standard levels. It's as if it was expecting visitors." They stepped out into the facility, their footsteps echoing through corridors that had waited eons for their arrival. The walls were covered in unfamiliar script, but what caught their attention were the holographic displays that sparked to life as they passed. "These images," Dr. Venn breathed, "they show Bikdal beings, similar in basic form to the archivists, but distinctly different. According to these readings, this facility is over 50,000 years old." Mira felt her bioluminescence dim in shock. 50,000, that's impossible. No civilization is that old. They'd proceeded deeper into the facility, each chamber revealing new wonders. They found laboratories with technology they couldn't begin to comprehend, libraries of data crystals, and most intriguingly, what appeared to be residential quarters. "Captain," Kaz called out, his voice tight with excitement, "I think we found some kind of central control room." The chamber they entered was circular, with a central platform surrounded by dormant holographic projectors. As they approached, the platform hummed to life, and a figure materialized, a holographic representation of one of the Bikdal beings they had seen in the earlier displays. "Welcome," it said, its voice automatically translating into their neural frequencies. "I am ARI, Automated Response and Information Archive. You have discovered Installation 47, a preservation facility of the human species." "Human." Mira stepped forward. "We have no record of such a species." The hologram smiled, an expression they would come to know well. That was by design. Humanity chose to remove itself from the cosmic stage, but not before leaving behind guardians like myself to watch over the younger races that would follow. "Why?" Dr. Venn asked, her scientific curiosity overwhelming her usual reserve. Why would an advanced species simply disappear? To protect and guide. Araya responded. Humanity discovered something in their exploration of the cosmos, something that would fundamentally change their understanding of existence itself. They realized they were not just one of many species in the universe, but among the first. The elder species, as some call them. The hologram waved its hand, and the chamber filled with stellar maps and scientific data. What you see here is but one of thousands of facilities scattered throughout the galaxy. Each contains different aspects of human knowledge, technology, and legacy. Some, like this one, were designed to help young civilizations facing extinction-level events. Mirrors bioluminescent patterns flared with sudden hope. You mean? Yes, Captain Dallin. The humans foresaw that many young species would face the same challenges they once did. This facility contains the knowledge you seek, the means to save your dying son. But there was something in Araya's tone that suggested this was only the beginning. However, that knowledge comes with a choice. Humanity left behind more than just technology. They left a warning and a responsibility. Are you prepared to learn the truth about your place in the cosmos? Mira looked at her crew, saw in their varied forms the same mixture of fear and hope she felt. Their mission had been to save their species, but they had stumbled onto something far greater, a legacy that would change not just their civilization, but their understanding of existence itself. We're ready, she said firmly. Show us. Araya's holographic form nodded, and the chamber darkened. Then let me tell you the story of humanity's ascension, and why they chose to become the shepherds of countless civilizations to come. But more importantly, let me tell you about the threat they discovered, the real reason they transformed themselves into something beyond physical form. As Araya began its tale, none of them could have imagined how this discovery would ripple across the galaxy, awakening other dormant facilities, and setting in motion events that would unite the younger races in ways they never thought possible. The Age of Revelation had begun, and with it, the return of humanity's legacy to the cosmic stage. The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Within days of the Lumini's discovery, similar facilities began activating on worlds scattered throughout known space. The ancient network, dormant for millennia, stirred to life with a purpose that sent shockwaves through every spacefaring civilization. In the Grand Assembly Chamber of the Archivist Collective, Supreme Curator Thulzar watched the chaos unfold. The Archivists had long prided themselves on being the oldest known civilization, the keepers of galactic knowledge. Now, their entire historical narrative had been upended. Another facility has activated, reported his aide, Renly, her crystalline form vibrating with nervous energy. This time, in the Centauri sector. The Meridian Alliance is already dispatching research vessels. Thulzar's membranous wings rustled with irritation. And the Lumini? What progress have they made with their facility? They've successfully implemented the solar stabilization protocols, Renly answered. Their sun's deterioration has been halted. But that's not all. She hesitated, her crystals dimming slightly. They're sharing the technology freely with other species facing similar crises. This was unprecedented. The balance of power that had existed between the major civilizations for millennia was crumbling. The Lumini, once considered a minor race, had suddenly become one of the most influential species in known space. Show me the latest data from our own expedition, Thulzar commanded. The holographic display filled with images from the human facility discovered in Archivist space. Unlike the Lumini's preservation facility, this one appeared to be some kind of military installation. The Archivist research team had managed to activate its primary systems, but the facility's eye was different. Greetings, Supreme Curator, the AI materialized, its form that of a human warrior. This one called itself Atlas. I trust you've noticed the pattern by now. Thulzar's wings spread in a gesture of authority. Pattern? You mean the synchronized activation of these facilities? Correct. Atlas's holographic armor shifted, displaying star maps and trajectories. What you're witnessing is the initialization of the awakening protocol. Each facility that activates strengthens the network, preparing for what's to come. Before Thalzar could respond, alarm signals blared throughout the chamber. Renlai rushed to the primary console, her crystalline form pulsing with anxiety. Supreme Curator, we're detecting massive energy signatures. They're appearing throughout known space. The chamber's main display showed it all, massive structures, far larger than any of the facilities discovered so far, emerging from what appeared to be pocket dimensions. They had been there all along, hidden in folded space, waiting. The watchtowers, Atlas announced, its voice carrying the weight of ancient purpose, humanity's first line of defense against the darkness they discovered. And now, after 50,000 years, they rise again. In the Meridian sector, the aquatic Delphians watched in awe as one of these watchtowers materialized in their home system. The squid-like Vortex Collective reported another appearing in their territory. Throughout known space, these massive structures emerge, each one a testament to human engineering that defied current scientific understanding. Back in the Lumini facility, ARIA was explaining to Captain Dallin and her crew what it all meant. The awakening protocol was designed to trigger when multiple conditions were met. The AI explained. First, the discovery of a preservation facility by a species facing extinction. Second, that species choosing to share the knowledge freely rather than hoard it. And third, the emergence of a unified response to this sharing of technology. But why? Mira asked, her bioluminescence pulsing with intensity. Why create such an elaborate system only to wait millennia for it to activate? Because humanity needed to be certain, Araya replied. Certain that the younger races were ready for what they left behind. Ready for the truth about the cosmos and the responsibility that comes with it. In the military facility, Atlas was more direct with Thalzar. Your species, Supreme Curator, prides itself on being the keepers of knowledge. The Meridians pride themselves on their technological advancement, the Vortex Collective on their spiritual enlightenment. But none of you have asked the most important question. Thalzar's wings drew close, a sign of intense focus. And what question is that? Why did humanity, at the height of their civilization, with technology far beyond what you see here, choose to transform themselves and depart the physical realm? What did they find in the dark between galaxies that was so significant it caused an entire species to evolve beyond corporeality? The answer came not in words, but in a sudden, synchronized activation of every human facility across the galaxy. The watchtowers pulsed with energy, creating a network of light that could be seen from every inhabited world. And through this network, a message began to propagate, not in any known language, but in pure mathematical concepts and geometric patterns that spoke directly to the fundamental understanding of reality itself. As the message unfurled across space and time, every sentient being in the galaxy felt it. A warning, a welcome, and a call to arms all at once. Humanity's legacy was not just their technology or their knowledge. It was a preparation, a careful cultivation of younger species, leading to this moment. In the Lumini facility, Mira watched as new chambers opened, revealing technologies that made their recent solar engineering achievement look primitive by comparison. Similar revelations were occurring in facilities across known space, each one a piece of a grand puzzle that humanity had left for their successors to assemble. The awakening protocol is complete, Araya announced, its holographic form seeming to grow more substantial. Now we begin the true purpose of these facilities, preparing you for what lies ahead. For what humanity discovered, and what they became to fight it, is returning. And this time, the younger races must stand with them in the defense of all existence. The Watchtower's message changed everything. Across the galaxy, ancient human facilities continued to reveal their secrets, each disclosure more extraordinary than the last. But it was in the depths of the Vortex Collective's territory, within a facility dedicated to consciousness research, that the most profound revelation emerged. They didn't just leave, explained Novier, the facility's AI, its form a shifting pattern of light and energy. They transcended. High theorist quantum stream, The Vortex Collective's leading consciousness researcher, coiled their tentacular form in fascination. The chamber around them displayed the evolution of human consciousness, from primitive neural networks to something far beyond current understanding. Our scans indicate your species is approaching a similar threshold, NOVA continued. The Vortex Collective's natural ability to share consciousness across multiple bodies was one of the markers we were waiting for. In another part of the galaxy, aboard the Nexus Voyager, Captain Mira Dallin and her crew were making their own startling discoveries. HFY had begun showing them records of humanity's first encounter with what they called the void resonance, a phenomenon that existed between dimensions. Then how did they survive? Thalzar demanded, his wings vibrating with tension. They adapted, evolved, used the very force that threatened them as a means of transcendence. Atlas's form shifted, showing humans undergoing a transformation that defied biological understanding. They became beings of pure energy and consciousness, able to exist across multiple dimensions simultaneously. The Shepherds, as they came to call themselves. Meanwhile, in the Consciousness Research Facility, NOVA was showing Quantum Stream the next phase of humanity's plan. The Shepherds realized they couldn't maintain constant vigilance over physical space while existing primarily in higher dimensions. They needed inheritors, species that could eventually join them in their eternal watch. The chamber filled with projections of different alien species, including the Lumini, Archivists, Vortex Collective, and others. Each projection was accompanied by extensive genetic and consciousness data. You were chosen, NOVA explained. All of you, selected from countless potential species, cultivated over millennia. The Shepherds didn't just disappear. They've been guiding your development since before your species achieved sentience. This revelation rippled across the galaxy as each facility shared its piece of the greater truth. The various species' unique characteristics suddenly made sense. The Lumini's bioluminescent communication, the Archivist's perfect memory, the Vortex Collective's shared consciousness, even the crystalline Meridian's natural ability to process quantum information. Back on the Nexus Voyager, Mira watched as HFY displayed a grand map of not just their galaxy, but the local galactic cluster. The entropy weavers were pushed back, the AI explained, but not destroyed. They exist outside normal spacetime. True destruction is impossible. Instead, the Shepherds created a network of dimensional barriers, maintained through their constant vigilance. But something's changed, Mira intuited, her bioluminescence dimming with concern. That's why the awakening protocol activated now. Yes, HFY confirmed. The barriers are weakening. The Shepherds have maintained their watch for 50,000 years, but even beings of pure energy can be worn down by entropy. They need help. They need successors. In the military facility, Atlas was more direct. The watchtowers aren't just observation posts. They're transformation engines, built to help physical beings achieve the same transcendence humanity underwent. But the process requires something that couldn't be programmed or predicted. Unity, Thalzar realized. True cooperation between species. The warrior AI nodded. The challenges ahead cannot be faced by a single species, no matter how advanced. The entropy weavers don't just threaten individual worlds or civilizations, they threaten the fundamental structure of reality itself. Throughout known space, the implications of these revelations began to sink in. The various species had not just discovered their ancestors, they had discovered their destiny. The Shepherds had spent millennia preparing them for this moment, guiding their evolution, waiting for them to be ready. In the Consciousness Research Facility, NOVA was showing Quantum Stream the final piece of the puzzle. The Watchtower's network isn't just for communication or defense, the AI explained. When fully activated, it creates a bridge between dimensions. The Shepherds are waiting on the other side, ready to guide the next phase of your evolution. But the choice must be unanimous. All chosen species must agree to take this step together. As if in response to this revelation, The watchtowers pulsed with new energy, creating visible links between themselves. The network was complete. The message was clear. The time had come for the inheritor species to choose. Remain as they were and face the coming darkness alone, or take the step humanity had taken millennia ago and join the eternal watch over reality itself. The legacy of the shepherds was not just knowledge or technology. It was an invitation to transcend the very boundaries of existence. But first, the younger races would have to prove they could overcome their differences and face the greatest challenge in the history of consciousness itself. The decision came faster than anyone expected. Perhaps it was the shared revelation of their guided evolution, or maybe the looming threat of the entropy weavers. But within days of the Watchtower's message, representatives from all major civilizations had gathered at a neutral location, the massive human facility orbiting the galactic core. The Grand Conclave, as it would later be known, brought together beings who had never before shared the same space. Captain Mira Dallin of the Lumini stood beside Supreme Curator Thalzar of the Archivists. The ethereal forms of the Vortex Collective's consciousness clusters hovered near the crystalline structures of the Meridian Delegation. Dozens of other species filled the ancient chamber, each chosen by the shepherds millennia ago. The network is aligned, announced Araya, her holographic form now joined by those of Atlas, Neovia, and other facility As. The shepherds await. The chamber's center held a massive device, a consciousness transfer matrix that would allow direct communication with beings existing primarily in higher dimensions. As the device activated, reality itself seemed to bend. The physical laws that govern normal space flexed and shifted as something ancient and incomprehensible made contact. They appeared as shifting patterns of light and energy, their forms constantly evolving yet somehow maintaining a hint of their original human shape. The first shepherd to speak identified itself as the one who had once been Dr. Sarah Chen, one of the pioneers of human transcendence. "We greet you, children of the stars." The beings' thoughts manifested directly in their minds, carrying with them emotions and memories that span millennia. "You have exceeded our hopes." Another shepherd, once known as Commander James Martinez, manifested beside her. But time grows short. The barriers weaken faster than predicted. The entropy weavers have evolved, adapted. They've learned from their last encounter with us. The chamber filled with multidimensional images showing the state of the barriers. What appeared as simple energy fields in normal space were revealed to be intricate networks of consciousness and will maintained by the constant vigilance of the shepherds. But there were gaps appearing, microscopic tears in reality where entropy leaked through. "How long do we have?" Mira asked, her bioluminescence pulsing with concern. "In your perception of time, perhaps a standard year," replied a third shepherd, their form rippling with urgency. "The watchtowers can slow the degradation, but not stop it. The barriers must be reinforced, not just with energy, but with consciousness itself." High theorist Quantum Stream coiled thoughtfully. "The transformation engines you built into the watchtowers, they're not just for communication or defense. They're meant to help us join you in maintaining these barriers." "Yes," Dr. Chen's consciousness confirmed, "but the process is not simple. Transcendence requires more than just technology. It demands a fundamental shift in how you perceive and interact with reality itself." The shepherds began sharing their memories of their own transformation. The gathered representatives experienced firsthand the terror and wonder of that ancient time, how humanity had faced the choice between extinction and evolution, and chosen to become something entirely new. "But you have advantages we did not," Commander Martinez's consciousness explained. "We underwent this change through desperate necessity, learning as we went. You have guides, teachers. The path has been prepared." The chamber's displays shifted, showing the true purpose of the facility scattered across the galaxy. Each one contained a piece of the transformation protocol, specialized knowledge and technology that would help each species overcome their unique biological and consciousness limitations. The Lumini's natural bioluminescence can be expanded into pure energy manipulation, Dr. Chen explained. The Vortex Collective's shared consciousness provides a framework for existing across multiple dimensions. The archivist's perfect memory will allow them to maintain the vast knowledge needed to understand higher dimensional physics. Each of you was chosen and guided to develop traits essential for what is to come. Supreme Curator Thalzar's wings vibrated with sudden understanding. The conflicts between our species, the technological arms race, the competition for resources, you allowed these to continue because cooperation freely chosen is stronger than enforced peace, completed another shepherd. You needed to develop independently, make your own choices, learn from your own mistakes. Only then could you be ready for true unity. The Entropy Weaver's presence became more tangible as the shepherds shared their direct experiences fighting these cosmic horrors. The gathered species witnessed battles fought across dimensions, saw reality itself used as both weapon and shield, and understood the true scope of what they would face. We offer you not just the means to survive, but to transcend. Dr. Chen's consciousness resonated through the chamber, to join us as guardians of reality itself. But you must choose quickly, and you must choose together. The transformation must be synchronized across all watchtowers, or the dimensional stress could tear apart the very spacetime we're trying to protect. As if to emphasize this point, alarms began sounding throughout the facility. New tiers were appearing in the barriers, larger than before. The Entropy Weavers were growing bolder, testing the weakening boundaries of reality. Show us. Mira stepped forward, her voice carrying the weight of conviction. Show us what we need to do. One by one, the representatives of each species added their agreement. The time for division and doubt was past. As the shepherds began sharing the transformation protocols, the watchtowers hummed with power, preparing for a process that would change the face of the galaxy forever. The return of humanity had not been an end, but a beginning. The true test, and the true transformation, was yet to come. The transformation began at dawn, measured by the ancient human facilities' chronometers. Across the galaxy, countless beings prepared for a change that would redefine the very meaning of existence. The watchtowers pulsed with energy, their network forming a lattice of light that could be seen from every inhabited world. Captain Mira Dallin stood in the consciousness transfer chamber aboard the grand facility, surrounded by representatives of every chosen species. Her bioluminescence synchronized with the rising energy patterns around them, a precursor to the greater harmony to come. The barriers are failing faster than predicted. Dr. Chen's consciousness resonated through the chamber. The Entropy Weavers sense our intention. They're launching a final assault before the transformation can be completed. Through the Watchtower's network, they could all see it, massive tears in reality, spreading like cracks in glass. The Entropy Weavers emerged from these dimensional rifts, their true forms now visible to the gathered species. They were apocalyptic geometry made manifest, shapes that violated the fundamental laws of physics, beings whose very existence threatened to unravel the fabric of space-time. We cannot wait any longer. Commander Martinez's energy form pulsed with urgency. The transformation must begin now, ready or not. Supreme Curator Thalzar's wings spread in alarm, but the protocols haven't been fully integrated. The simulations suggested we needed at least another day, too. There is no more time. Another shepherd interrupted, their form blazing with ancient power. You must transcend while fighting, as we did, as humanity did when we first faced this threat. The Watchtower's energy output doubled, then tripled. The transformation engines activated, sending waves of dimensional energy through every chosen being in the galaxy. It was not a gentle process. Reality itself seemed to scream as thousands of species began to evolve beyond their physical forms. High Theorist Quantum Stream was the first to begin the change, their natural ability to exist across multiple bodies making them more adaptable to the transformation. The Vortex Collective's form became pure energy, their consciousness expanding beyond normal spacetime. Mira felt her own transformation begin, her bioluminescence becoming something more, a bridge between dimensions. The pain was extraordinary. but so was the expansion of awareness. She could feel every member of her species changing with her, their collective consciousness joining in a symphony of transcendence. But the entropy weavers would not allow this evolution to proceed unopposed. They struck at the weakest points in reality's fabric, their assault threatening to tear apart the very space in which the transformation was occurring. Hold the line. Atlas's voice rang through the network as the military facilities activated their ancient defenses. The transformation cannot be stopped now. The energy backlash would destroy half the galaxy. The shepherds moved to engage the entropy weavers directly, their ancient knowledge and power creating barriers of pure consciousness. But they were fewer now, worn down by millennia of constant vigilance. They needed help. That help came from an unexpected source. Those species whose transformation had progressed the furthest began to understand how to use their new awareness. The Vortex Collective, now existing partially outside normal spacetime, launched psychic attacks against the invaders. The Meridians, their crystalline forms becoming pure quantum information, began calculating and predicting the Weaver's dimensional tiers before they could fully form. Mira found herself leading a group of partially transformed beings in a direct assault against a major incursion. Her consciousness, now expanded beyond her physical form, could perceive the entropy weavers as they truly were, not just destroyers, but parasites feeding on the death of reality itself. The final protocol. Dr. Chen's consciousness resonated through the transforming beings. The watchtowers, they're not just transformation engines. Together, they form a dimensional lock. Understanding flooded through the network. The watchtower's particular arrangement wasn't random. It was a galaxy-spanning mechanism designed to seal the barriers between dimensions permanently. But it required power. More power than even the shepherds could provide alone. Everyone. Mira's consciousness rang out across the network. Direct your energy through the watchtowers. All of us, every species, every mind. Together. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Trillions of transforming beings, their consciousness expanding beyond physical form, joined in a single purpose. The watchtowers blazed with power as energy poured through them from every corner of the galaxy. The entropy weavers sensed the danger. They launched a final, desperate assault, tearing holes in reality larger than entire star systems. But they had waited too long. The transformed species were reaching critical mass, their combined power approaching that of the shepherds themselves. In a moment that would be remembered across dimensions, the Watchtower's network activated at full power. Reality itself buckled, then reformed. The dimensional barriers didn't just close, they transformed, becoming living barriers of consciousness maintained by the combined will of thousands of species. The entropy weavers found themselves trapped between dimensions, sealed away from the reality they had sought to consume. The threat that humanity had fought for 50,000 years was finally contained. But the victory came with profound changes. The galaxy's sentient species now existed in a state between physical form and pure energy, able to shift between states as needed. They had become like the shepherds, guardians of reality itself. And so the cycle continues. Dr. Chen's consciousness resonated with satisfaction. As we watched over you, now you shall help us watch over the next generation of species to emerge. Mira, her consciousness now spanning multiple dimensions while maintaining a connection to her physical form, looked out at the transformed galaxy. The barriers between species had dissolved along with the barriers between dimensions. They were one now, not through forced unity, but through shared purpose and evolution. We are still ourselves, she realized, but we are also something more, something greater. As humanity became the shepherds, you have become the inheritors. Commander Martinez's consciousness confirmed. The next chapter in the story of consciousness itself. Across the galaxy, the transformed species began to explore their new existence. They could maintain physical form when needed, but their true selves now existed across dimensions. The age of singular, physical beings had given way to something far more extraordinary. The human facilities, their purpose finally fulfilled, began to power down. But the shepherds remained, ready to guide the inheritors as they learned to use their new powers and responsibilities. For there would always be new species emerging among the stars, new consciousness to nurture and protect. And in the spaces between dimensions, reality itself seemed to breathe easier, guarded now not just by humanity's ancient shepherds, but by a new generation of transcendent beings who had chosen to rise above their physical forms to become guardians of existence itself. The story of humanity had come full circle. The children they had watched over for so long had grown to join them in their eternal vigil, and the stars themselves seemed to shine brighter for it.